I'm Steve Jones from Redgate Software and SQL Server Central, and this is a video walkthrough this post. So I did this post on Test Data Manager with database backups. I didn't have the microphone on, so I had to re-record it. So the post is up there, and I'm going to attach this to the video. But just so we know what's going on and how this works, I thought I'd show you how I did it. So I got a copy of this repo from Alex Yates. So he set up this TDM-AutoMasklet, which is fantastic. I modified this slightly to show how this works. So I did a video of this by itself, and then I modified it to do database backups and sent Alex a PR. So I'm going to clear this out. Here's my repo, which is there, and I think this is a fork. Yeah, so this is going to my origin, which is in my account, but it's a fork of Alex's there. And if you look in here, you've got a bunch of stuff. Code./run. So let's just look at this in VS Code real quick. This is the way this thing works. So there's a bunch of parameters here that you can send in with some defaults. And then there's configuration items that are there. Now, all of this is based on Alex's repo here. So if you go to Alex Yates-Redgate TDM-AutoMasklet, you can get this stuff out there. Okay. In this case, what I'm actually going to send in is these are coded in there because I changed them, but I'm going to pass those in as parameters. Now, before I do that, I've got here two databases. I'm going to actually delete these so that you can see how this works. This does use DBA tools, and so if you don't have that installed, you're going to want to run this as an administrator. But you can see I've got no databases here, which is filtered to BB. So let's run this. So I think I have the command in here already. Putting a database name in, here's a parameter and a backup path. Okay, so I backed up my baseball database to this path, and so I've got this file here. So if I were to grab this and this, that's my parameter. Just so you know what's in there, in this baseball database, there's 16,000 players in there. I think this through 2021, maybe, I forget. But it starts with Hank Aaron, Tommy Aaron, right? It's just going through all these players that are there. So if we run this, let's say go, it tells me kind of the parameter list of where I am, right? What's going on. DBA tools is here, it's found. And you can see it's restoring my backup. So what's actually done is it's taken my backup and restored it. And now there should be two databases, right? So it says there's BB full restore and BB subset. BB full restore should have data. This should be empty of data, but it's actually not. So if we come back here and we refresh this, what we'll see is I have these two databases. And if I come over here and I say full restore, see the same thing, right? 16,000 players. And here in the subset, let's pick that and run it. It's still 16,000 players because I just did the restore, which is fine. Okay, so now let's see what's going on. It's going to run a subsetting command. So it's actually going to subset here. So let's say yes. This runs very quickly. Like, I'm very impressed with the subsetting technology from Redgate. Just so you know, if you didn't have a license, this does start like a trial here. You agree to you'll then start a trial. But so it's now subsetted, right? And that took about 8 seconds. And it would now do the anonymized piece. But before we do that, let's come over here and rerun the subset. So you can see I only have 16,000 or 1,600 players instead of 16,000. The default, I think, is about 10% of the database size is what it's set to. And you can see that I don't have all the IDs, but 11 is Glenn Abbott. And if we say Glenn Abbott is here, and then 22 is Brent Abernathy, or no, sorry, it's Tal Abernathy. And 22 is Tal Abernathy here, right? So everything's the same, but I have 10% of the size. Now, if I run this, what this is going to do is look for PII data. So it's doing a classification against my subset to say, you know, what should I have been done? It actually produced a classification.json file that's in this path, which I actually, if I look at that, let's come here. And so if I pop this in code real quick, I just open it. you can see that it's gone to this table and it said, it's got these different things. It's found all my columns. There are some of these, like the player pitching post. So players, so dates of birth is found. Death country is found as a country. So it's recognized certain things, right? Names are found as given names in there. So if I run this again, right, we're 5 minutes in with me talking a lot. Now we have a masking file here that determines the PII, how it's going to be handled. So if I were to look at this in code, and let's do a find. So let's do name first, right? So it's going to say we're going to use this data set to mask this deterministically. So if I were to run this multiple times, it runs again. So it's kind of found some of that PII stuff. And then if we actually do the classification, you can see it's really found two tables where it's going to do some masking. All right. And so now we're essentially done. If I come back in here and run this side again, now instead of being, 11 Glenn Abbott, it's now Pearl Wamby and Aya Lilly instead of Tal Abernathy, right? So the masking has kind of hidden some of my PII type data. And I can control all that with some options and do things, but realistically, this will run in less than 5 minutes on your side. You can give it your own backup like I did here, or you can use the sample Northwind database, which we'll actually create for you. So give this AutoMasklet a try and see how you think about subsetting and masking, which are phenomenal technologies for better, faster, safer database development. And if you're interested in more, reach out to us at Redgate. We'd love to talk to you. I'm Steve Jones for Redgate Software and SQL Server Central.